First, I wanted to give you my ideas about what life is going to be like in 100 years. I call this Protopia. It's not utopia. Utopia is something that I don't believe in. And what I'm talking about is not dystopia. It's not this idea that the world's coming to an end. It's going to be disastrous and terrible. Protopia is something that's in between. Okay, it's something that is much more like progress. It's like proceeding. It's like prototyping, something early. It has its roots in the idea of moving forward. So we're not going to be a perfect place, but it's a place that will be a little tiny bit better than this year. Maybe only 1% improvement over time, the net gain. But it's compounded. And that 1% difference makes civilization. The first important trend that's occurring in 100 years is that we are going to have fewer people on the planet than we do right now. Instead of being worried about immigrants, immigrants will be the most precious of commodities. Secondly, as I said, there's going to be an increase in aging. And this is an entirely new situation for this planet, for our species, because until now we have always had rising population with rising living standards. How we have rising living standards with fewer population, we don't know. It requires a new kind of an economy. The third trend is green energy. The fourth trend in 100 years from now is planetary connection, meaning that everybody on the planet, everybody alive will be connected most of the day with other people around the planet. Either their neighbors or friends or families or someone far away. It's one single network, even among different countries, that are interoperable, and that forms the new platform. It's a global planetary platform. And in that, everything that exists has a digital scan of it that can operate like it. We call it digital twins. Another thing that in 100 years from now will be ubiquitous AI, ubiquitous artificial intelligence. It'll be cheap, common, everywhere. The sixth important part in 100 years from now is the fact that we will have accelerated innovation. It's important to remember that most of the jobs in 100 years from now have not even been invented or not even imagined. Because, I mean, even within 2 years, you are going to be probably doing a job that doesn't exist right now. 100 years, most of the work that we will be having will be inconceivable to us right now. And the number one course in 100 years from now will be learning how to learn. Bioengineering is another long-term trend happening, and it's very, very fundamental. Of course, we're going to be eliminating inheritable diseases in our genome. We're, of course, going to sequence everybody. The last thing I want to say is about the convergent culture. So if you take a picture anywhere, even now today, but certainly in 100 years from now, you won't be able to tell in the urban area where you are, because it's all going to look very, very, very similar. It's Maslow's hierarchy, and at the bottom is Wi-Fi. You need to have that. Those higher levels of the self, of figuring out what it means, figuring out why you're here, figuring out what you want to do, they're very likely to diverge. We'll have an increased variety and diversity of answers to that question to why am I here? And that, I think, promises us a huge positive result, because the more people become themselves, the more geniuses that we have, and the more that genius can be shared. And in my talk to the Blue Planet Sci-Fi Film Festival, I want to explore the real potential of technology in the coming century.